Highlights for me has been the level of consistency we've had. There's been some cracking racing. I'm really impressed by everybody's racing. I think the depth of racing, so racing in the 20s and 30s numbers has been amazing. I've loved the variety of courses. I've loved the fact we've had the mud and the quagmire of Shrewsbury and Bradford. We've had fast racing, cyclone, down at the Cyclo Park. Fantastic course, great, really different, really techie, really tested people's brains, really put some people in fear. And today at Ipswich, some great racing, very fast. And I know it's a Marmite course, people love it or hate it, but I love to see different people coming to the front. It was interesting just who was up there this time round.
Well, you couldn't get any more different than Bradford and here, and the same guy won.
He did, and it shows class out. The guy can go round corners fast, and that doesn't matter whether they're full of mud or whether it's flat and fast. You saw him out in practice, and you could see it out racing today. He just didn't lose any speed, and he just was absolutely flying. Bram Merlier taking the win, 3 wins out of 3, and that's put him second in the series. And I suppose if there's one weak category we have, it's elite men. That's the one where we're now consistently really needing to move people up. We don't have strength in depth. Ian Field's been a great champion, and we've had people get close, and we've got some more people coming up, but we maybe missing that middle ground. That's maybe the category I want to see going up. The youngsters categories, I mean, highlight of the day, I suppose, other than the strength and depth, was the kids racing. Yeah. I mean, amazing talent. The under 14 boys racing was it was open to the end. It literally came down to the final few metres of sprinting. The under 14 girls racing, it's been a little bit more predictable in the first 3 with Zoe Baxter taking the win, but further back some really cracking racing and lots of riders coming through. And in fact, the under 14 girls field bigger than the under 16 girls field. Under 16s, very talented riders. I think we're going to see a lot of those moving up. The junior women, the under 23 women, some good strength in depth. Good to see Anna Kay coming back, because she's come back from the continent, and she's shown that we can mix it up on the continent, come back and keep on improving. And we're going to go up to a home ground for national, for the national champs. So that's going to be some very interesting racing up there as well. But definitely a great season so far, and a great trophy series. I think it's really worked well. And got to say a big thank you to all the organisers. I mean, they've worked really hard. Every year I come to the racing, I see more structure. The organisers have to jump through more hoops. There's more health and safety out there. And yet these guys are here, and they've put in months and months of work into making it happen. So without them, just doesn't happen. Same with the volunteers, but the organisers know, rather than me, that's for sure.
Well, finally, who are your riders of the series? Because there's been so many standout rides.
Oh no, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one.
It is a tough
riders. You've got to say Millie Cousins, coming from the under 14s, wins every race in the under 14s, moves up to the under 16s, first year under 16, right in there. Bram earlier, 3 wins out of 3, obviously, really, really good. I think if we look a little bit further afield, Kate Eady in the vet women, absolutely dominating the vets women in the first year in there. She's not just dominated, but she then went abroad and took a world championship title, and it's going to be interesting come the national champs where she races the elite and outside of it. I think Beth Crumpton as well. Beth did really good. I mean, you've got to remember, she beat Eva Leitner. She's gone out, beaten Eva Leitner. She's set out at stall to win the trophy series, and she's gone and done it no matter what health, not what's been going on. She studies full time, and yet she put that in. Very, very hard to say best rider of the lot.
No, there's no. I don't think there is a best rider. There's certainly a lot of standout, but I mean, one of those favorites for me is Cameron Mason. Comes all the way down from Scotland, all over the country, and wins his series as well.
Yeah, I know. And coming down, I mean, we've seen it so often in the mountain bike. The guys from Scotland come down and dominate, and there was a little bit of a view of that. I was lucky enough to be on the mic for the Interregional Mountain Bikes here when we were down at Hadley, and the Scottish team, their strength in depth is mad, and you see the same riders coming across to the cross and doing well. Cameron Mason, it's a long way to travel. You can't discount that. No matter where you go, we're a long way from his home. And it doesn't matter whether we're in the north of England, it's still a couple of hundred miles for him to go. But the riders who are dedicated and are putting in the effort, they're the ones who want it the most. And today we saw that. We saw sprints down to the line. Ollie Stockwell, one of the nicest guys in racing of William Wheelers, goes out there. He wanted that win. He wanted to round off taking the series with a win. And him and Alec Gregory coming down that straight, what did it come down to? A few centimetres after all that racing, after all the series. That's what he wanted, and he wanted it the most, I think, and that's what mattered. So, no, really good to see.
One final person I need to mention is Nick Craig.
Well, Nick has been a star for more years than I can remember. I can remember when I started mountain biking, Nick was one of the riders that you always wanted to see race, and you were always dreamed of sort of racing against. And yet now we see him racing. He raced in the Vets race, he raced in the Elite race, but in between presented two of the most amazing trophies I've ever seen for the Charlie Craig Memorial trophies. And Nick and Sarah have done so much hard work this year in getting the Right for Charlie Foundation going to get the Cry charity so much money. They've done a great job of that. And do you know, for Nick to do that presentation in the middle of two races, that took some going. I couldn't do it. I cracked up, you know, and took a couple of minutes out of commentary because of presenting that. And a year on, and we're at a cross race, and we're still thinking of Charlie, and we're presenting some great trophies to him. You know, I don't think you could get a more fitting tribute than the guys who won it in Ollie Stockwell, along, of course, with our under-16 girls winner, you know, who put in such a stormy performance in Millie Cousins.
And finally, you're looking forward to next week?
Next week, National Championships. Looking forward to it.
Proper cross, muddy.
Oh, cross, massive run-up, big hills, tough course. In the northeast, so if you're in the northeast, I'm expecting you to be stood on that barrier, deafening everybody, because we want massive crowds out for it. It makes it for the riders, it makes it as a commentator. We're going to get some live coverage going out as well, so I think we're going to see a lot of really determined riders, and the course is going to produce worthy winners. You can't get anything but on a course that tough. Going to be very interested to see what happens there.